Right, look at the Husqvarna 520i HT4. This is the long reach hedge cutter. I'll go through the good points and the bad points. We'll start with the bad points first on this. The one thing that's really annoying is when you turn it on, it only stays on for about a minute or so, and then after that it switches itself off. Why it does this, I don't know. It doesn't need any more safety features. This is already fiddly enough when you're trying to use it, so it doesn't need to do that. You know, when the old petrol ones were running, they would just idle and idle. You know, we didn't worry about them turning themselves off or anything. Every now and again you might have one cut out and you'd have to pull start it, but you know, that was the way it was. So yeah, this is a really annoying thing. That'll go out in a minute and you'll see what I mean. The eco mode, it's pointless. You know, you've got a variable trigger on it. You don't need the eco mode. That's a complete waste of time. There you go, so it's gone out already. So that's how long you've got before the thing switches itself off. You know, the swivel for the harness, yeah, that's quite useful. You can put that on if you want it. This thing, the rubber bumper at the bottom, that's a great little feature, because you know, saves you bashing the base of your tool up on the ground. I like that. It's also something, if you were up a tree or up a hedge and your mate had to pass you, it's something one of you can grab on at least. The batteries, decent batteries. I've been using it with the B330X, I suppose it's called. Yeah, we've done pretty much the top of that hedge, everything from halfway up. I know we used the backpack battery on the bottom stuff, but it's done everything else. Just use one bar. And the good thing about these is they are more expensive, but these are IP4X or IPX4, whatever you want to call it, so these are suitable for use in the rain. If you're a professional, you need that, because here in England, as you know, it rains a hell of a lot. Looking down the length of the machine, this is nice, adjustable length. No, it adjusts. I haven't got a tape measure out, but it's a decent length. That's a nice feature. And you've got the adjustable head as well, which is, you know, that's nice. The blades, these are proper, you know, proper blades. They've got bevels on both sides. The way it was going through that conifer, even the thicker stuff, it was taking no prisoners. This is definitely a professional machine. You can tell the difference between this and some of the sort of, you know, the domestic types. I guess what we used to use was for long reach stuff. You'd have the steel combi for the lower stuff. And these are great machines. So it's about the same length as the ever so slightly than the steel combi tool. I guess if you were to put that in the middle, the extension pole, it'd probably be about the same length as the Husqvarna extended. So yeah, it's a nice tool. I've used it for a few hours today. Another thing, it's quiet. I've always been used to using the petrol gear. You know, these are 25 years old. This one, the HT75, for the taller stuff, we'd take the hedge cutter end off, put it on the pole saw. That thing's lasted 25 years. Whether or not this Husqvarna lasts the same amount of time, who knows, but I think I'll be using this one quite a bit more now. Not just for the fact it's quiet, but when you are at full reach and you're holding it, you know, out above you, the exhaust's not blowing in your face because it hasn't got an exhaust. So that's another great feature. I can't fault the HT75 because, like I said, the age of the thing and what it's done. But when you were holding it out at full reach, or even if you were resting, you kind of, you know, sometimes you'd have it just rested on your lap there, and then you realise you'd wonder why your leg was getting hot or why you're getting fumes in your face if you're holding it out at full reach. So yeah, I don't think I'll be getting rid of the HT75 anytime soon. I simply brought it today just in case this couldn't handle the work, but you know, as you can see, it's handled that absolutely fine. So yeah, this is definitely a decent professional machine from what I can tell. I've had it for about 4 or 5 hours use today, so far I would say that's definitely a machine worth buying. You know, I guess the Husky kind of replaces these two tools in a way. It's about the same length as the Stihl Combi. When closed, it's probably it's not quite as long as the HT75 when the HT75 is extended, but technically that's not really meant to have a hedge cutter on it. In the interests of fairness, I'll say I've had this 25 years. That's not 25 years of it not being maintained. It's had a new ignition coil, a new drive shaft, a couple of sets of bearings. It's probably had 400 or 500 quid spent on it over the years. So, yeah, in the interests of fairness, it's not been absolutely trouble-free, but the amount of work it's done. The Husky's good. I have noticed on the likes of the Laurel though, and the thicker conifer tops, it hasn't quite got the same oomph as the petrol machines. It does when you get up to that sort of 10, 12, 15 mil and above, although it fits in the teeth absolutely fine. Now you can see the teeth on both machines are plenty of gap in them. It struggles with the thicker stuff, so you probably won't be reducing privet hedges, you know, by several feet with it, conifer hedges by several feet. It's definitely more of a hedge trimmer than a hedge reducer. You know, you can whack away at hedges all day with this, but perhaps not so much with the All in all, decent machine. Would I buy another one? Well, maybe if there's some way of sorting this switch out. It is so annoying. You know, you press it, you turn it on, it's probably a minute and it switches itself back on. That's ridiculous. Half the time you can't even climb a tall ladder and get yourself into a working position before that thing switched itself off. So yeah, that's unforgivable really. They should have sorted that out of the factory, why it needs to turn off after 1 minute. It's not like that LED light uses any great amount of power. I mean, look, we've done another hedge now and we're on 2 bars, so you know that light is not draining anything at all. Other than that, no, it's